What's up everybody? Good morning. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made this sweet side table with a robot. This side table features such a simple design, yet the visual impact that it adds to a space is pretty freaking awesome. I thought about this design for months before I ever actually started working on it. That seems to be my biggest problem, getting past the intimidation of, I can't do this, it's never gonna work, it's horrible, I'm horrible, and pushing through all that noise to get it done. After a few failed attempts, I'll show you what I did to finally make it work and what I do differently next time. So that's my plan for this video. Let's get after it. Thank you to our sponsor, Inventables, for making this repetitive and seemingly endless process super precise and nearly effortless. I created the design in Easel, which is the free design software on the Inventables website. You can download the file below, and I'll leave the links to all the tools and materials in the description box. Now this is the largest X-carve model, and I'm able to put 24 by 24 inch workpieces on the table. I had some leftover plywood from my workshop build, so I used 3/4 inch maple to make the base. First, I tried carving a full circle out with the X-carve. I figured I could just cut up the circle into 4 equal parts with my jigsaw, but then when I went to assemble the pieces, it didn't end up working out because the pieces weren't completely identical. So, back to the drawing board. I cut up a full sheet of plywood into 8 24 inch square pieces. 20 curved pieces fit on each panel, so 8 panels will give you 160 pieces, which is exactly what I needed for this project. I used an 1/8 inch straight bit on the router, hooked up my laptop to the machine, and watched it do its magic. By the way, if you follow me on Instagram, and you should totally follow me on Instagram, then you'll see sneak peeks of upcoming projects before they ever hit the blog. I figured out that cutting these curved pieces worked best. I also played around with the cut settings in the design software. The default settings are pretty conservative, which makes the carve time kind of long. It was like 3 hours per panel. And you multiply that by 8 panels, and you'll be carving this for the rest of your life. I tweaked the settings until I found a happy medium, aggressive enough to reduce the time, but not so aggressive that it broke my router bits. It took quite a few tries and a few broken bits before I found that sweet spot. More details on my cut settings are in the design file, as well as on my blog, which is linked below. So with these settings, I was able to cut my carve time more than half. Each panel now took a little over an hour to carve. I mean, I found out that the cuts weren't as clean, but I didn't mind having to sand the pieces if it meant saving valuable time. You can certainly cut these pieces out on a scroll saw or a jigsaw, but unless you're a complete wizard with those tools, the X-carve is going to be your best bet. It'll ensure precise, identical pieces. Besides, you can do other things like clean up your workshop or host a sweet dance party while the robot is working. Just don't leave it unattended or it just might tap into Skynet. Ain't that movie? After the pieces were cut out, it's assembly time. There are 5 pieces to each layer. I'm sure there's some magical mathematical equation that will give you the exact spacing, but math is hard and I avoid it at all costs. So I just eyeballed it and found that about 2 inches overlapped worked for me. Good enough for government work. Once I've figured out the spacing, it's time to rack and stack them. I used wood glue and brad nails here. Lather, rinse, repeat times a gazillion. This table measures about 24 inches in diameter, and it's much larger than I expected. I think I would prefer a smaller table so that we can use it as a nightstand in our guest room, so next time I think I'll shoot for closer to 18 inches in diameter. And that's one of the cool things about easel, is that you can modify the design files to fit your needs. Finally, I gave the table a good sanding and finished it with spray lacquer before adding the stone top. I'm about to start building cabinets for my home office, and the countertops are going to be Carrara marble, so I had some left over from that slab. I had my local stone supplier cut a circle from it, and then I used it with some construction adhesive to attach it to the base. I just love the mix of marble and wood. Of course, if you don't have some extra marble laying around, you can use the X-carve to cut out the top. Wow, I did not mean for that to sound quite so pretentious. I mean, I don't know about you, but I always have superfluous marble just laying around right next to my enormous piles of money. You know what I mean. You can make the top out of any material. Wood, acrylic, metal, the tears of your haters, whatever. I'm calling this table my plywood prototype because I'd love to build it again, but this time with black walnut. But next time, I will be sure to get the spacing exactly correct instead of eyeballing it, because if you look closely, a few of the rows are slightly off, which makes my left eye twitch. So I'm pretty new to YouTube, so if you want to see more videos like this one, let me know by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. And tell me, do you think using robots counts as real woodworking? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.